Toy Story. In recent years, computer animation has become the industry standard to produce mainstream animated features. In fact, almost every animated film nowadays is primarily made with CGI. However, believe it or not, there was a time when the idea of an animated movie made entirely out of computer graphics was once considered a fantasy. Back in the 1980s, computer scientist Ed Catmull and animator and future women harasser John Lasseter shared a fascination with CGI, and both had a dream to create the first ever fully computer animated feature. Only problem? They never had the money for it. During Pixar's beginnings, even though they were making some groundbreaking shorts like Luke So Jr., the company had to survive through the investments of Apple founder Steve Jobs and by mainly producing commercials, since selling both hardware and software didn't seem to be their biggest strength. But then came Tin Toy, Pixar's 1988 Oscar-winning animated short about the life of a toy. This got the attention of then Disney CEO Michael Eisner and then chairman of Walt Disney Studios Jeffrey Katzenberg to see if there could be some sort of collaboration with Disney and Pixar. After some tough negotiations, they agreed to help Pixar make a movie and begin the process of creating animation history.
We're making a movie.
Really?
Green light?
We got green light?
But now that it's time to analyze the world's first computer animated feature, does the movie still shine as bright as its legacy, or can age become a problem with computer animated films? Let's find out. The story. As you probably know, this is not the first time that a cartoon presents a story where toys come to life when no humans are around. In fact, this has been done since the early days of animation. So if Toy Story wasn't the first to do this kind of story, how did this become the leading example of it? Well, more so than any other project at the time, this film fully explores the concept of the life of a toy. What does it mean to be a toy, and what is its purpose? Those are just some of the questions that the movie explains. This is why one of the film's big strengths is world building, to look around our regular life, but scaled down to the size of a toy to deliver a brand new perspective. But in terms of the actual plot itself, the main viewpoint is regarding the favorite toy. It's safe to say that everyone had a favorite toy growing up. But what happens when there's a new favorite that might replace the old one? This is what Toy Story is mainly about, the old versus the new, as represented by the western past of Woody and the sci-fi future of Buzz.
Hey guys, look! It's the real Buzz Lightyear!
You're mocking me, aren't you?
Oh, no. Buzz, look, an alien! Where? Ah!
From there, the film becomes a character-driven story where two rivals, while flawed in their own right, have to eventually work together to get out of certain doom. Funny enough, the theme of toys bring out a strange sense of connection to what's happening in the movie. It's not like feeling directly relatable to characters like Woody and Buzz, but more kind of like Andy. Like I said, we all had that moment when we got a new awesome toy that took our attention away from the one we consider as the favorite. Watching this film takes its viewers back to their childhood and reflect on how they used to play with their toys. In a way, that's the secret of what makes Toy Story so engaging over the years. It brings its audience back to a simpler time, allowing them to connect more with the events and the characters that are happening in the future. Ultimately, the reason why this Toy Story stuck more with people than any other Toy Stories in the past is because this film understood what it means to be a toy more than any other. The animation. While not often discussed, the one downside to computer animation is that, in the long run, it really doesn't age well. As technology will forever evolve to get better and better, you look back at what was done in the past and suddenly you feel like Woody surrounded by Sid's creations. Compared to what computer animation can do now, the visuals in Toy Story have become dated and even primitive. The movements can be rigid, the effects look cheap, and some of the designs can get laughably bad where the humans look more like goblins, and a weird science experiment gone horribly wrong is now Sid's dog.
Get away you stupid dog!
However, there is one important thing to note about this movie. Keep in mind that this is the first computer animated feature in history. Back then, there was nothing else to compare this to, and even at that, some of the use of computer animation before was very simple. So when this movie came out in 1995, it set a brand new standard not just for movies, but also for CGI in general. Nowhere could you find characters move and emote so expressively before with 3D graphics, and the animators have done all they could to bring the medium to brand new levels. One of the best elements regarding the animation here is how it features a wide display of toys, showing off both how they can come to life and even play around with their functionalities. The film even goes a step beyond by creating mutations with the toys in Sid's room. Also, interestingly enough, the film even takes advantage of some of the technological setbacks from when this was made. Do the textures make everything look like it's made of plastic? Good, because most things here are made of plastic anyways, so it ends up working out in the movie's favor. And even at that, it doesn't stop the feature from being visually immersive. The backgrounds work well as larger versions of average life, and many of the intense moments can get exciting. Even by today's standards, the animation succeeds in bringing these toys to life. But even better, this is what brought computer animation to life in animated features. The characters. Even with the first, Andy had a lot of toys to play with. Luckily, each one is also a lot of fun with their own memorable personality. But of course, the favorites will be the ones that will leave a bigger impact than the rest. Starting off with Woody, he's an old pull-string cowboy doll who's like the leader of the gang and Andy's favorite, taking responsibility for all the toys to stick together, while also having a bit of an ego to act like he's the hotshot of the room. However, when a new toy that the kid got for his birthday comes into the scene, he develops a bit of jealousy as it is the first time his position gets threatened. Yet he has to learn to put Andy over himself, knowing what Buzz means to him. He might have his times when he can be a jerk, but he does have a heart and wants what's best for everyone. Besides, knowing the history of this movie's production, Woody could have been much worse.
I'm sorry, Woody, but I have to agree with them. I don't think what you did was right.
What? Am I hearing correctly? You don't think I was right? Who said your job was to think, Spring Wiener?
Well, I just thought that you...
Just use this vast reserve of brain power to consider this for a moment. If it wasn't for me, Andy wouldn't pay any attention to you at all. In fact, my sketchy friend, you would have been hauled away to Goodwill a long time ago, so shut your mouth and get them off the bed. Do it. Now.
Then you have the other popular toy, Buzz Lightyear, the latest action figure with many functions, buttons, and all sorts of ways to move and play around with him. The only problem? As a brand new toy, he thinks he's the real Space Ranger, giving Woody an extra obstacle to get him grounded into reality before he does something crazy.
And you, my friend, are responsible for delaying my rendezvous with Star Command.
You are a toy!
With the relationship of the two, it delivers a fascinating chemistry of two flawed individuals that are totally different from each other, but have to find a way to work together, on top of expanding the concept of the life of a toy with the role of the favorite and when a toy comes fresh out of the box. As for the other toys, while not as further developed as Woody and Buzz, they still provide their own asset to the feature and deliver most of the humor. Among Andy's toys, there's also the loyal Slinky Dog, the cynical Mr. Potato Head, the smart Alec Ham, the nervous Rex, the militant Green Army Man, and the caring Bo Peep. As for the humans, the only significant ones are Andy, who plays the avatar that the audience can see themselves in his shoes, and Sid, the sadistic kid who's the antagonist of the feature that loves to destroy toys. Sure, he's a messed up brat, but from a toy's perspective, he's quite an effective and threatening villain. With characters that are enjoyable, funny, and can make you think, these are the kind of toys that hold a higher quality than anything you can buy in a store. Story is not just a milestone for animation and cinema, but it is also a really good film. While it is often regarded as the first computer animated movie, it also revolutionized the standards of storytelling and character building. The story is highly engaging with the way it presents the concept of the life of a toy. The characters are complex and feel more human than most humans in live action films. And the animation, while it may look outdated, still holds some merits that makes itself look good, even by today's standards. By its historical significance, it is an absolute must-watch for those who are interested in both film and animation. But also, it's a great choice to just sit back and have fun watching a movie. You can't go wrong if you're ever in the mood to watch Toy Story. There are very few films in this world that have forever changed the face of animation, and with the addition that the film itself is very well crafted, it's just a sweet bonus. And that is why I'm proudly giving this the AniMat's seal of approval. Toy Story will forever be known to be the film that made animation go to infinity and beyond. Hey guys, this is AniMat, and I want to start things off by giving out a huge thanks to Peyton Michael, whose amazing support on Patreon allowed him to get some amazing rewards, including this one, where he got to go and ask me to review Toy Story, the original 1995 movie. And it really is amazing to not just look at the first Toy Story, but to look at the entire franchise in general, from the first Toy Story in 1995 all the way up to the fourth Toy Story in 2019. Because the franchise itself, and this is something that I may have already stated before, but it really is a testament to the evolution of computer animation. Because the funny thing with each of those films is that they are each considered revolutionary of their time, and how they each have pushed computer animation to a brand new level to show how it can really be a storytelling medium. And with each and every single one, they have been massively praised for their computer animation, how they each have done things that very few have previously done before, whether it be in 1995 with the first Toy Story film, or the second one in 1999, the third one in 2010, or even the fourth one in 2019. They each have proven how animation can still evolve and still grow, and really show how far we really have gone ever since the first one in 1995. And the funny thing is that it's not just a testament to the evolution of computer animation, but I have seen a lot of articles where they have actually stated that Woody, the character of Woody in the Toy Story films, is one of the most well-written and complex and human characters ever developed for a movie in general. Not just for animated films, but for cinema, because with each and every single movie, you do see a complex character development that Woody would have to go through. Regardless if it would be like the first film where he would have his first interactions with Buzz, or even in the fourth film where he would be reunited with Bo and kind of get some updates with what she is going through now as a lost toy saving other toys. Woody definitely is a fascinating character to see him evolve as well. Not just the computer animation, but also the character of Woody massively evolving. Now, this is not to say the other characters don't evolve as well, because we have seen other developments through characters like Buzz and some of the others as well, but Woody really is the one where we would see a massive change and a massive growth behind him. So the Toy Story franchise in general really is a massive testament to cinema, and one of the most important movie franchises in cinema history, because of the way that it is written, giving us compelling stories with each and every single one of them, and how it continuously evolves computer animation. And that truly is the beauty of Toy Story. So with that said and done, now it is time that we are going to conclude Toy Story and move on to our next review, which is going to be a Patreon request from Brandon Ferretti. So I would like to start things off by saying that if you guys would like to be like Peyton and Brandon and you want to go and support my work and get some amazing rewards at the same time, then all you have to do is go to patreon.com/animat. But at the same time, if you guys would like to suggest an animated film you would like me to review and I would put onto the animation hat, then all you have to do is go to, write me an email actually, at animatsreviews@gmail.com. So with all that said, you might be wondering what is it that Brandon asked me to go and review. Well, funny enough, we are still staying with the theme of a popular animated franchise. Toy Story is definitely one of them, but this one also has a lot of comparisons to Toy Story, especially with the fact that both of these movies have a lot of sequels, more so than just being a trilogy. And with this one in particular, we are going to look into the second one, where we shall see the beginning of the franchise's meltdown.